This is the actor that played one of Tom Green's wives, the convicted polygamist.
Right for the USDA to let us all kill ourselves eating McDonald's, but this good wholesome stuff isn't alright. But that's such a terrible thing. We gotta do something about it.
What should we do?
Well,
that they would use Tom Green, because the fact that the same actor that played Tom Green for the polygamy thing plays another actor in the Avalon Project.
Declassified U.S. government documents.
Just simply look at the ears. There's no doubt.
And witness testimony from former or retired U.S. military personnel confirm beyond any doubt the reality of ongoing UFO incursions at nuclear weapons sites.
That's not all this actor plays. He plays a couple more roles too. You might know him better as Richard Katzgar, Bureau Chief of Pima County Sheriff's Office.
And witness testimony from former or retired U.S.
And it's based on a photo that many people saw. That individual identified himself to
ongoing UFO incursions at nuclear weapons sites. When I say
explainable in the pictures that we have, and there's nothing to
disc-shaped or cylindrical shaped.
And let's not forget Dave Sanders from Columbine, the teacher that was killed. On the tribute site, they have a photograph which is of him and his supposed wife. Well, she looks an awful lot like the actor that plays Tom Green's one of his multiple wives. So, Dave Sanders, Tom Green, Richard Katzgar, all the same actor. Mainstream media tells us that this is Warren Jeff's son. Now, what I'm typically finding out is that just as in any other job, if you're a freelancer or a contractor and you have friends that have the ability to do that type of job, well, you're going to, of course, tell your friends about that work and see if you can get them a gig too. So you're seeing the same group of actors being used in multiple unrelated events or in the same type of event, just in different scenes. But we can see that there definitely is a pattern of the actors and their friends working together. And just as we saw the Tom Green character, and possibly that is his daughter that is working with him on that gig. And we know that he played in the Columbine incident. Well, we can see that also in the Columbine incident, other individuals that have been linked to him, like this one. Now, when we look at Craig Scott, we notice some unique things, unique features of his face. His philtrum is crooked, and we notice when we flip this image, we can see that he now matches it. And also, if we look at Craig's hair, it looks like they tried to change the part from one side to the other, and that's what's causing his hair to be messed up, because his hair won't part naturally that way. So when we flip that image, and remember, we're dealing with people that are trying to hide their identity, so they'll incorporate the simple effects of just flipping an image to hide their identity before they'll go into the extreme end of using special effects. So is it a coincidence then that we see Greer in the same scene now? And Greer also plays in the Disclosure Project with some of the other actors that are in this film? I don't think so. I think it's the same group of actors just being used for different events, and they think they can get away with it by just changing their appearance a little.
Or not a valid reason for a certificate.
And we're intersecting the flight path of these B-52s.
Because we're here, but because it's good quality food.
And he has documented his placement at these facilities at the time that these events occurred.
So while we're here talking about the Disclosure Project, we might as well talk about a few other people that are involved in that project that are fakes as well. Keep in mind I previously exposed Carol Rosen for Annie Lloyd Backhand. What a name. And in her photographs, that's where I found information on Luke Rudowski and the Rebecca Joy character, the actor that plays Gabrielle Giffords. Now, the new Gabrielle Giffords, of course, is played by an APEC employee, as you see here. Here are additional actors that play in the Avalon and the Disclosure Project that might surprise you.
Good morning. My name is Daniel Sheehan. I'm an attorney and serving as general counsel to the Disclosure Project. I'm a 1967 graduate of Harvard College in American Government Studies and Constitutional Law, and a graduate of Harvard Law School. And I served as general counsel and one of the co-counsel for the New York Times in the Pentagon Papers case, and was involved in briefing and arguing the case in front of the United States Supreme Court, giving permission to the New York Times to publish the classified documents, the 47 volumes of the Pentagon Papers.
I want you to disregard all of the opposing counsel has said.
I've noticed on several of Jim Traficant's testimony in front of Congress, you can notice there's a color bleed along his edge of his body, typically seen when there's a green screen being used. And you notice around the head, the top, you can see there's a green discoloration, just a slight little bit. It's a bleed of the green. And you also see on the side of his face here that you'll see there's a very large spot that's tone is green. This is typical of someone who doesn't go back and color correct the image that they've set up in front of a green screen.
I think they're delusionary. I think they've had something funny for lunch in their meal. I think they should be handcuffed to a chain link fence, flogged, and all of their hearsay evidence should be thrown the hell out. And if they lie again, I'm going to go over and kick them in the crotch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Traficant. Mr. Lewis?
Nothing further, Mr. Chairman.
All right, here's where we are.
And on March 24th, 1967, I was on duty at what we called Oscar Flight. It is a underground capsule, hardened site, about 60 feet underground. We had security guards topside. The main guard is called a flight security controller. My commander at the time was...
December, you became aware of Fast and Furious.
I said...
I was on duty at what we called Oscar Flight. It is a...
After the death of Agent Terry, yes.
Okay.
Now, Isa was in the Army, but if we take a look at the photograph that they say is Colonel Hall, you can tell those ears are very particular. Plus, if we take a look at the name badge above his pocket, it is been photoshopped. That is not a correct looking letters. The fonts, under close examination of this photograph, we can tell that there's been a layer added to it. The name has been covered up and the new name has been put in. The name that would be underneath it would be Isa, and we can tell that the designer now put in Halt. Of course, keeping true to the naming convention that they like to use, the play on words, Halt in the military. So if we look at the letters, we can tell that the increased perspective from one end to the other changes, but the outside edge of the box does not change. So this artist was not very skilled at what they were doing and thought that the letters would increase in size as they got closer to you. Well, if this were the case of that perspective, then so would the box around it. Now take a look at this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Clifford Stone. I was a Sergeant First Class, United States Army. I had a secret clearance with nuclear surety. I could get the clearance that I needed to do whatever it was that was necessary for me to do at the time on special operations when I was called in on those.
You sure about that, Cliff? Because I think I've seen you somewhere else. In fact, I know I have. September 11th.
It's in both those towers and floors that got hit. I can't get through.
Now watch as this actor can't even remember his lines and has to refer to a cheat sheet that he has.
I was there only 6 months ago. My office is now in Midtown.
What company?
Marsh McLennan, Marsh Inc., Mercer Consulting Group, and William M. Mercer, Putnam and Guy Carpenter occupy all floors in that range there that looks like that got hit.